Dear students, in the previous lecture, we have studied a special method, that is a method of separation of variable to solve a given partial differential equation. In the continuation of the previous lecture, now we'll study how to solve wave equation, heat equation and Laplace equation by using method of variation of parameters. So now in today's lecture we will study how to solve one-dimensional wave equation using method of variation of parameter. So now here I have taken an example. A tightly stretched strings with fixed endpoints x is equal to 0 and x is equal to L. That means the length of the string is L, 0 to L, is initially at rest in its equilibrium position. So initially at rest, so this thing and in its equilibrium position, these two things are to be noted here for initial and boundary conditions. If it is set vibrating by giving each point a velocity is this. So this is the velocity. Find the displacement of the string at any distance x from one end at any time t. So here I have drawn the diagram for this problem. So initially the string is at this position, PQ, initial position of the string. Now when and this uxt is the displacement. It means this is the position. If this distance is x, so uxt is the position of this point at time t. So uxt is the displacement. Here length of the string is L. Initially at rest means uxt. T is 0, then ux0 is 0. String is fixed at endpoints. So these are the endpoints of the string PQ. So it means ux, whatever time is, the first, both the ends are fixed. So it means when x is equal to 0, then u is 0. When x is equal to L, then u is 0. It means there will not be any displacement at the endpoints because they are fixed. Initial velocity is this. Initial velocity means del u by del t. This first partial derivative of u with respect to t. This shows the velocity. And this is the initial velocity. It means initial means when t is 0. Then the velocity is this. Initial position. Initial position ux. Initial means when t is 0. Then initial position ux0 is 0. So this PQ is the initial position. So in the question it is given in its equilibrium position. So this is the equilibrium position and you have to find uxt. And uxt means the displacement of the string at any distance x. Okay. So now here we have... this is the brief of the question. Here we have summarized all the complete question. So now we can formulate this as a mathematical problem because the given problem was the word problem. So now its mathematical form is there is one dimensional wave equation. This, you know, in the last lecture I have already told you the wave one dimensional wave equation is of this type. Okay, with initial conditions. These two conditions are initial. Initial means when t is equal to, here you should understand what is the difference between initial and boundary condition. Initial means when t is equal to 0 and boundary conditions means at end points, or you can say at the boundaries. So initial conditions means when t is 0. So we have two conditions when time is 0, and the boundary condition means at the boundary. So boundary for the string, the boundary is x is equal to 0 and x is equal to L. So these are the two boundary conditions. So this is the mathematical formulation of the given word problem. Now we try to solve this. Now in the differential equation, you have seen u is a function of two variable x and t, right? So now we start method of variation of method of separation of variable. So we assume u x t is equal to the product of two function x and t. X is a function of small x only and t is a function of small t only. So we want to use this value of u in the given partial differential in this given wave equation. So we calculate for the left hand side, we need del square u by del t square, and this is nothing but this one. And for the right hand side, we have to calculate del square u by del x square, which is nothing but this. Now substitute these two values in one, you will get the equation becomes this. Equation 1 becomes this. Now we separate the variables. All the terms involving t on one of the sides and the terms involving x on the other side. So here on the left hand side we have the terms, all the terms of t, and on the right hand side we have the terms involving x, and equate this to lambda. Now we have two differential equations. You can see these are the two ordinary differential equations. Now for these two ordinary differential equations, now we are going to solve these two equations. But because this lambda is constant, so you can see or you can say what type of constant is this. So we have the three possibility. This lambda may be positive, it may be 0, or it may be negative. So now first we assume, suppose if lambda is greater than 0. So greater than 0 means lambda is square of some real number which is not 0. Any real number which is not 0. So lambda is equal to k square. So it means in equation, this equation number 2 will become this. Here we have substituted the value of lambda. Now we solve these two differential equations. Now you can see these two differential equations are linear differential equations, in fact ordinary differential equations which is linear with constant coefficients. So we write auxiliary equation for this differential equation. Auxiliary equation is this. So there are two values of d, and for this the auxiliary equation is this. This you have studied in the chapter linear differential equation with constant coefficients, where we calculate CF and PI, because the right hand side is 0 for both the differential equations. So particular integral part is 0. So we calculate only the complementary function. So for this differential equation, this will be the complementary function, and for this differential equation, this will be the complementary function, where a, b, c, d are arbitrary constants. And because we have assumed u is equal to x multiplied t be the solution. So here we have the value of t and here we have the value of x. So we multiply both these and this is the value of u in this particular case. Now the another case, if lambda is 0, then both the equation number 2, in equation number 2 becomes this. Now integrating these two differential equation, or you can say when we solve these two differential equation, now we have t is equal to at plus b and x is equal to cx plus d, where again a, b, c, d are arbitrary constants. So again we multiply t and x, and this is the value of u in this particularly in this second case. Now the third case is if lambda is less than 0. Lambda is less than 0 means lambda is negative, or we can say negative of some positive number. So we write lambda is equal to minus k square, where k is some real number, in fact non-zero real number. Then the equation number 2, I mean both the differential equation becomes this. Again the two ordinary differential equations are linear differential equations with constant coefficient. As usual, in their solutions are nothing but only their complementary functions, because the right hand sides are 0. So here this is the auxiliary equation for the first equation. There are again two imaginary values of d, and in this we have this auxiliary equation, the two imaginary values of d. So it means t is equal to this a cos ck t plus b sin ck t, and x is equal to c cos kx plus d sin kx. These are the two solutions are these two differential equations. So again we multiply these two because u is x multiply t, so u is t multiply x. This be the solution in this particularly third case when lambda is negative. Now here I want to tell you, in a practical problem, when any question of wave equation is given to you, you need not to show all the three cases, because in wave equation only this third case when lambda is less than 0 is this case will be applied. Why? I have explained here. Now we have to choose the solution which is consistent with the physical nature of the problem, as we will be dealing with the problems on vibration, because waves we are dealing with wave equation. It means there will be the vibrations. So uxt must be a periodic function of t. Hence uxt must involve trigonometric functions. Accordingly, so uxt must involve trigonometric terms. So now you can see, in out of the three cases when lambda is greater than 0, lambda is equal to 0, lambda is less than 0, so you have the value of uxt in each of the case. So now which one will have the trigonometric terms? Only in the third case when lambda is less than 0, uxt, the value of uxt involves trigonometric terms. So accordingly, the solution given by equation number 3, this is equation number 3, is the only suitable solution. It means whenever the problem, any problem is given for wave equation, directly after equation number 2, when you have the two ordinary differential equation, directly we come to this third case. You need not to discuss first case and second case. For all the wave equations, directly we come to third case when lambda is less than 0. And you don't need to explain why lambda is not positive or why lambda is not 0. So we have got this solution. To find the values of a, b, c and d, because they are arbitrary constants, so boundary and initial conditions are given to find their values. We use initial and boundary conditions. So here we use u0 t is equal to 0. So substitute x is equal to 0 in this, you will get this equation. And because this side cannot be 0 for any value of t, or this is not always true, always 0. So this equation will give you c is equal to 0. Now this equation number 3, and this 3 means solution uxt, reduces to this equation number 4, because now we have substituted c is equal to 0. So now we are left with only 3 arbitrary constants a, b and d. So again we use another boundary condition. So first boundary condition we have used when x is equal to 0. Now this is when x is equal to n. Again u is 0. So in this equation number 4 we substitute x is equal to n. Then we get this. Now again this is not equal to 0. D cannot be 0 because c is already 0. If d is also 0, then the solution will become 0. So therefore we assume d is non-zero and this is also non-zero. So sin kl must be 0, and this value, this sin kl is equal to 0 gives k is n pi by l, where n is natural number. So now we substitute this value of k in equation number 4. Then 4 reduces to uxt is equal to d sin, here I have substituted the value of k, n pi x by l, a cos c n pi t by l plus b sin c n pi t by l. Okay, so now multiply this constant by in this these two constants by these two constants. So now we are writing the new constant, because we will, here n is 1 2 3 4 for different values of n. So we write an and bn are the constant for different values of n. So now the general solution, because for every value of n this be the solution, so the general solution means the sum of all these solutions. So this be the general solution. The sum of solution is also a solution. So therefore this be the general solution. We call it 5, equation number 5. Now to find the values of constants ans and bns, we use the initial conditions. Boundary conditions we have used. Now we use the initial conditions. There are two initial conditions. When t is 0, u is 0, and when t is 0, del u by dt is this. Now we use the initial condition. Put t is equal to 0. Now in this equation number 5, we put t is equal to 0. So this part will become 0 and this is 1. So we have this equation. Only an is left in this bracket. So an sin n pi x by l, summation n from 0 to infinity is 0. So here we get this using the first initial condition, and the second initial condition means the derivative del u by del t is 0, not 0, lambda x l minus x. So first we differentiate this u with respect to t partially, and then we put t is equal to 0. So left hand side is given lambda x l minus x, and here I have differentiated both the terms given in the bracket, and now we put t is equal to 0 in this. So first equation is as it is, first series, not equation, first series is as it is, and when we put t is equal to 0 in this, so the first part will be 0 and we are left with only the second part, and putting t is equal to 0, this will become 1. So from this bracket only bn n pi c by l is coming. Now you have this. Okay, x is between 0 and l, and now you have the two series involving sine terms only. So here you have to recall the concept of Fourier series. As x is between 0 and l, both the series consist of sine terms only. Therefore, using the concept of half range sine series, we get this. This is Fourier coefficient. Here we are using the concept of half range sine series. So an is equal to 2 by l. From this first series, we get an is 2 by l, 0 to l, this 0, sin n pi x by l dx, and this is equal to 0. So it means all an's are 0. Now come to the second series. Now again this second series will give you bn, this is the coefficient part. So bn into n pi c by l is equal to 2 by l integration 0 to l, and lambda x l minus x sin n pi x by l dx. So now we have both the types. All an's are 0 and all bn's are nothing but this. So let's integrate this part. First we substitute an is equal to 0. So the solution 5 reduces to this. So now we bn, where bn is this. Now we integrate this and we get the value of actual value of bn. So now bn is this. Here we integrate this by parts. This as first function, this as second function. So integrating by parts, you can integrate this. You better understand how to integrate by parts. First function, integration of second function minus integration of derivative of first function. The first function means Lx minus x square. Here we have derivative of first function, integration of second function. Now when Lx is equal to L, this makes L minus x. This makes this the whole will be 0, and when x is equal to 0, again it is 0. So there is not any contribution of this part. So we are left with only this integration. Okay. Now again we use we integrate this by parts. This has first function, this second function. First function integration of second function minus integration of derivative of first function. This is derivative of first function, integration of second function. Now again when we put x is equal to L, sin n pi is 0, and when x is equal to 0, again this is 0. Again there is not any contribution for this term, so we are left with only this second part. So integrating this, so finally we get this term. So now for if n is even, the value of cos n pi is 1, and when n is odd, its value is minus 1. So we have two values. If n is even, this is 1, so it means the value of bn is 0. And if n is odd, then its value is minus 1. Minus 1 minus 1 means minus 2. So this will become 8 lambda L cube by c n raised to the power 4 pi raised to the power 4. Okay. So it means for all B2, B4, B6, when the subscript is even, all BIs are 0. So we are left with only BIs with odd subscript. B1, B3, B5, these will be there. So we write n is equal to 2m minus 1, where m is natural numbers. Odd numbers can be written in this form. Then the solution 6 can be expressed as this. And this will be the required solution of the given problem. Again, remember one thing, for every problem you need not to discuss or explain all the three cases which I have taken, because this was the first problem. That's why I discussed all the three cases in the same problem. But whenever you have wave equation, directly we come to the solution which we have got in the third case. So the third case is permissible for all the wave equations, one-dimensional wave equations.